starter replacement on a Ice Bear or a Tao Tao Motors 110 scooter, and most of these are very similar. You can see I removed the step on the left hand side and the engine, part of the engine cover. You need to do this to get the starter off correctly, because there is a little tensioner here, and sprocket and chain, all that needs to be in there correctly, or it's not going to go back together and start. Now once you've pulled the starter, there's 3 bolts on the other side. You've got 3 bolts in here, 1, 2, and 3, and those take 10mm socket. Now some people I've seen be successful in keeping the gear part on there and pulling the motor that's held on with 3 Phillips screws, but when you do that, it's impossible to get the brushes back on there and get the armature back in. But if you can somehow carefully split that case, it can be done without pulling that whole gear and sprocket off there. And then you got to connect up your wire again. But on this, you can see I've taken the wire off and removed the starter. Now I have the starter back on, and the chain back on, and the tensioner back on, and the guide. That'll keep the chain from slopping around in there and wearing on something. Now once you've done all that, and then also here are your timing marks, should you ever need to time this thing. But most likely that won't happen. I do replace some starters now and again. And now you take the side cover, and you're just simply going to put it back on. And it's got a little magnet in there for your magneto. But you're going to put this back on, and then tighten all the bolts back up, and then you should be good to go. It's not a hard job, but it is kind of a pain in the ass. I wish you didn't have to take this side cover off in that step, but you can do the whole thing once you've done one of them in probably about 15 to 20 minutes. But that's the starter on the Chinese made 110cc gas motor. This one's from Tao, but they all have a very similar setup in there. So be careful, give it about 20 to 30 minutes on your first one, and you'll be fine. Watch some more of our videos for car lifts. Thank you.